games are pretty fantastic, but what always amazes me, and I'll share this with you, is how they fit all the music, visuals, excitement, and all-round top-quality entertainment into one tiny cartridge.
So how did we get all of that into this?
I think an interesting thing to do, first of all, is to go back a couple of years when we first thought, shall we do a racing game? We knew racing games were very popular, and we thought we had the expertise and the programming skills to do a very good racing game. So we said, yeah, let's do a racing game. The next question we asked ourselves, is there a personality? Is there an endorsement we can add to the game which is going to make it even more exciting? We knew Nigel Mansell was doing well in the World Championship at that time. He wasn't World Champion at that time, but we thought he might be. And we started speaking to him. Would he be interested in helping us with our game? He was very interested. He likes computer games. He takes a Game Boy with him wherever he goes. And soon we had Nigel on board as well. So we were there. We knew we were doing a Nigel Mansell racing game. What we're going to do now is James is going to take us around the building and show us how from that point did we develop the game.
Okay, now we've decided to go ahead and produce the Mansell game. We've actually done all the design work. The next stage is to start the programming. We have the computer on which the code's being written. The code that we write ends up in that box over there. That box is our version of the Super Nintendo. It's similar to the one you would have at home, except that what it allows us to do is continually change the program that's running. So this is what's in the cartridge. That code there on that screen translates into this on your Super Nintendo. This is actually the original road that's used in the Nigel Mansell game. The game is nowhere near complete, but we have the actual basic road. When we were developing the Nigel Mansell game, the road was the most important thing. You've got a smooth and fast road system, particularly with something like a Grand Prix game. To get this far took us, probably about 6 or 7 months of programming. The next stage was producing the car graphics, the roadside objects, backdrops, all the other support graphics for the game. And that's what we're going to show you next. Everything that you see in the game will at some point have to be drawn. We actually have to draw the car with every wheel position to add realism to the actual game itself. As well as drawing Nigel's car, we have to draw the cars that you're going to be competing against in the game. Could we run the animation, Greg? This is so we can, in the game, we can actually give the impression of a car moving away from you, or you moving up behind another car. How many frames did it take to do that?
We originally used 8 frames, but I doubled them up to 16 to make it a lot smoother.
It works really well. The game isn't just about racing around the tracks, though. Another important part of the game is the actual selection and setting up of the car between each of the individual tracks in the game. In this section, you can select your tyres, change the airfoil settings, etc. Below, we also see some graphics for the sponsors, which we're adding to the car graphics. Anything for realism. Whilst the rest of the team are working on the programming and finishing off the graphics for our game, here in the studio, Pat's working on the music and sound effects. Could we have a listen to some of the music, please, Pat?
Certainly. Once I've composed the music, it's built up of tracks similar to this.
Okay, could we listen to a sound effect now, please, Pat? In an effort to create as much realism as possible, we asked Renault to record the engine sound from the actual F1 car itself. And this is the sound effect that we use within the game. So we've got the program, the graphics, the music and sound effects. Let's go and test that game. What we do is arrange for the programmer to send the finished game down to this machine. And using this machine, we actually load the program up into these 2 chips. These chips now contain the whole game. The games are put into a cartridge, into a prototype cartridge, and then these are given to the testers to test. Here in Gremlin's test department, we have a team of people whose job it is to play the games. Our testers have to play the games for hours and hours, testing for bugs or for things that shouldn't even be there. When the game is as action-packed and as exciting as possible, only then is it ready to be put into a finished cartridge. And that's how we get all of that excitement into one tiny cartridge.
Hey, come here. This is between me and you, right? What I want to know is, how can you cheat at some of the games? Don't breathe a word.
Super Mario All-Stars. On the Lost Levels, World 1, Level 1, if you want to get some extra lives, this is what you have to do. Go to the first set of blocks and bash the second block to uncover the hidden mushroom. Bounce it with your head over the end block, leaving the Koopa inside. Grab the mushroom, being very careful not to scroll the screen past the row of blocks. Now break the first block and the third block and leave the Koopa patrolling on the fourth. Jump through the gap you've made and remove the 3 blocks from above your head. Now carefully make a small jump onto the Koopa. Mario should bounce on and off, eventually clocking up 1-ups. Leave it to carry on until the time runs out and you'll have 128 lives. Also on the Lost Levels, World 3 Level 4, the way to get to the end is to stay along the bottom until you've heard a high-pitched beep, then stay along the bottom again until you hear another beep. Now go all the way to the top and stay there until you hear 2 more beeps. If whilst going along the top you find a jump that's very hard to make, jump down to the floor and you'll find 4 hidden blocks. You can now use these to get back up to the top route and make it all the way to the end. On Mario 2, World 1, Level 3, go to near the end of the level and get the last potion bottle before the door. Carry it past the door and throw it down near the pot. Then enter subspace and go down the pipe whilst you're in subspace, and this will now warp you to World 4. Mario 3. On Mario 3, World 1, Level 3, you'll find near the end of a level a white rectangular block in the air. Jump onto this and kick the turtle off. Now kneel down on the block until you fall through and land behind the scenery. Now run to the right as if you were going to complete the level, but instead of finishing the level, it will take you to a secret mushroom house, and inside this mushroom house is a warp whistle. Plock. When you get to level 3 of Plock, go to nearly the end of the level and look out for the arrow pointing downwards. Jump down and shoot the plum in the tree 3 times. This will take you to a bonus stage. You now have to beat the timer in this bonus stage to get warped to the end of the island. To get the best out of your games, you should try your hand with the Scoremaster. Designed for use on the desktop, the arcade-style Scoremaster has a responsive 8-way joystick with 6 buttons. These are oversized for ease of use and have an auto-fire switch for each button. The Scoremaster also features a slow-motion operation with 2 speeds. So whether it's quick or slow, the Scoremaster will put an extra kick into your game. There is also a great accessory known as the Nintendo Scope. This is an amazing piece of gear which is an infrared firing machine, laser accurate to 1 television pixel. There are some great games specially designed for this ballistic bazooka, like Battle Clash and Yoshi Safari. Why not get one for your shoulder and start blasting?
I hate to tell you, thrill seekers, but it's time for me to go. Have fun on your Super Nintendo. And this might sound strange, but I'll be back. Hasta la vista, baby. Hey, not so heavy on the interaction.